The narrative revolves around Jossie, a young girl who seldom ventures outside independently due to her mobility challenges, and Tsuneo, a university student with a fervor for diving and a deep admiration for marine biology. Despite working multiple part-time jobs to fund his dream of studying abroad, Tsuneo's life takes an unexpected turn one night at a festival when he encounters a wheelchair-bound girl, altering the course of his journey. At the film's outset, we witnessed Tsuneo meticulously engaging in his daily routines, including studying, working, and pursuing his passion for diving. As he peruses a photograph of a fish he captured while diving at the diving store where he works, a girl named Mai commends him for his skill. During their conversation, Mai extends an invitation to Tsuneo to dive with her and their friend Hayato the following week. In their discussion, Hayato remarks that neither of them has a girlfriend. However, Tsuneo responds that he lacks the time to pursue a romantic relationship or join them for diving the next week because he intends to seek out a new part-time job. During the night, as Tsuneo makes his way home, he encounters a girl in a wheelchair rapidly descending a downhill road towards him. In a sudden turn of events, she is thrown from her wheelchair and lands on top of Tsuneo, whom he had attempted to rescue moments earlier. Shortly thereafter, an elderly woman, revealed to be the girl's grandmother, rushes down and expresses gratitude to Tsuneo for saving her granddaughter. Identified as Kumiko by her grandmother, the girl prefers to go by the name Jose. Unexpectedly, Jose bites Tsuneo's hand and accuses him of being a pervert for allegedly groping her. Despite the awkward encounter, they walk together since their homes lie along the same route. During their journey, the grandmother discloses to Tsuneo that Jose has been wheelchair-bound since birth. They prefer to walk at night, deeming it safer with fewer onlookers. The grandmother explains her cautious approach, citing the world as being filled with perceived threats or scary beasts. In a gesture of hospitality, she invites Tsuneo to join them for dinner at their home. Despite the invitation, Jose remains upset with Tsuneo, persisting in labeling him a pervert. Even a cat in their household exhibits hostility towards him. When Jose requests tea from her grandmother, Tsuneo takes the initiative to prepare and offer it to her. However, Jose, finding the tea too hot, reacts by throwing objects at him in frustration. Before parting ways, Jose's grandmother extends a job offer to Tsuneo, who, facing financial challenges, accepts the opportunity. The peculiar condition of the job is that Tsuneo must comply with every one of Jose's directives. Upon commencing his duties the following day, Jose consistently retreats to her room to avoid Tsuneo's presence. She assigns him seemingly pointless and tedious tasks such as kneeling, counting threads, and searching for four-leaf clovers. Frustrated by the nature of his responsibilities, Tsuneo confides in Mai and Hayato, expressing his discontent. Sympathizing with him, Mai and Hayato suggest that Tsuneo consider resigning from the job. A turning point occurs when a professor from Tsuneo's university informs him that he has the opportunity to pursue further studies in Mexico. Overjoyed by the prospect of fulfilling his long-standing dream of studying abroad, Tsuneo eagerly embraces the news. While Tsuneo contemplates quitting his job, Jose, on the other hand, yearns to explore the outside world, a desire her cautious grandmother vehemently opposes due to perceived dangers. Upon expressing his intention to resign, Tsuneo receives no response from Jose. Deciding to check on her, he opens Jose's room and discovers beautifully painted depictions of the ocean. As Tsuneo overhears the grandmother calling for Kumiko, he learns that Jose is missing. After a search, Tsuneo locates Jose and attempts to bring her back home. However, Jose requests to be taken to the ocean. Responding to her wish, Tsuneo accompanies her to the beach. There, Jose wonders how seawater tastes and shares a childhood memory of her father attempting to introduce her to the sea, yet her fear of the waves prevented her from approaching it. With both of Jose's parents no longer present, she harbors a desperate longing to confirm the taste of seawater for herself. Despite having read about it in books, Jose is determined to experience it firsthand. Tsuneo, understanding her yearning, carries her to the sea, enabling Jose to finally taste the salty water herself. Subsequently, Tsuneo diligently continues his job of taking care of Jose. Upon returning to Jose's home, her grandmother reacts with fury, admonishing both of them, and issuing a stern warning to Tsuneo. Confounded by Tsuneo's actions, Josie questions him about why he took her to the sea. In response, Tsuneo confesses that he empathizes with anyone who yearns for the ocean. Josie, undeterred by her grandmother's disapproval, resolves to venture outside again, informing Tsuneo of her grandmother's nap schedule from 1 to 3 p.m. The clandestine adventures continued for Joss and Tsuneo, sneaking out of the house together to explore various places such as the park, zoo, and aquarium. At the aquarium, Tsuneo shared fascinating information about the diverse array of fish, leaving Joss in awe. Despite their frequent outings, the grandmother chose to remain silent, recognizing the increasing happiness radiating from Josie each day. During one of their excursions, Josie and Tsuneo visited a library together. While Joss was in the process of borrowing a book, the librarian, Kana, asked her if she liked Sagan, the author of the chosen book. Discovering their shared admiration for the author, Kana too was a fan and excitedly connected with them. This encounter led to a newfound friendship between Joss and Kana. Following their visit to the library, Tsuneo brings Jossa to the diving store where he works, introducing her to Hayato and Mai. However, Jossa becomes visibly uncomfortable and upset, abruptly leaving the store and leaving Tsuneo confused. Later that night, Joss requests her grandmother to tell Tsuneo not to come anymore. The grandmother then called Tsuneo about that. The subsequent day brought exciting news for Tsuneo. He was awarded a scholarship to pursue further studies in Mexico, with plans to depart the following year. Meanwhile, Jossa found herself at the library with Kana, who was preoccupied with other tasks. The children at the library requested Josie to read to them in Kana's absence. Despite feeling nervous, Josie read the book hurriedly and plainly, causing most of the children to become drowsy and leave, except for one. Impressed by Jos's drawing of a mermaid castle, Kana suggests that she explore a career as an artist, although Joss remains apprehensive about the idea. In the evening, Tsuneo visits Joss's house and presents her with an exquisite fish-light ornament he obtained from the diving store, identifying it as the Clarion angelfish found in Mexico. As they sit together, Tsuneo opens up to Joss, sharing that his parents are divorced and his mother is diligently working to provide for both of them. This revelation deepens the connection between Tsuneo and Josse, fostering a stronger bond between them. One day, Josse boldly asked Tsuneo if he wanted to go out again, but this time she did so in front of her grandmother, causing great shock to the elderly woman. Josse took the opportunity to express to her grandmother that the world isn't entirely filled with fear and danger. The grandmother was initially left speechless, but burst into laughter after Josse and Tsuneo departed for their outing to the zoo. At the zoo, Josse and Tsuneo enjoyed the sight of a tiger together. During their time there, Josse confided in Tsuneo about her aspirations, revealing that she dreams of working as an artist. Following Josse's grandmother's passing, Tsuneo finds it challenging to focus on his daily routines. The next day, two social workers visit Josse's house, prompted by a concerned neighbor who sought assistance for Josse to secure employment and ensure her survival. When Josse expresses her desire to pursue a career as an artist, the social workers dismiss her aspiration and urge her to simply find a job instead. Feeling disheartened, Joss retreats to her room, disregarding the presence of the social workers. While seated beside a bridge, Josse encounters Mai and Hayato, who sought her out to offer support during her time of grief. However, instead of offering comfort, Mai suggests to Joss that she should release Tsuneo from his responsibilities, as she believes Joss's presence had been hindering him to achieve his dream. Mai's revelation about Tsuneo's plan to study abroad next year greatly shocked Joss. Feeling betrayed, Josie lashed out at Mai, expressing her frustration that Tsuneo hadn't communicated this news directly to her. Mai's words, implying that Tsuneo's visits were out of sympathy, left Josie speechless and hurt. Upon Tsuneo's arrival at Josse's house, he discovered that she had cut her hair and sold all her paintings. Josie then made a final request to Tsuneo to take her to the sea once more. At the beach, Josse disclosed to Tsuneo that she had accepted a job at an office, relinquishing her dream of becoming an artist, deeming it unattainable. She also acknowledged her awareness of Tsuneo's plans to study abroad. After parting ways with Tsuneo, Joss's wheelchair became stuck in the middle of the road with a car rapidly approaching. Tsuneo rushed to her aid, but tragically got struck by another car due to the slippery road conditions. Tsuneo was promptly taken to the hospital, leaving Joss overwhelmed with stress. The accident resulted in Tsuneo suffering a broken shin bone at the ankle, significantly impairing his ability to walk or run as he did before. Even with rehabilitation, it became apparent that not everything could be fully restored. Despite the challenging circumstances, Jossa visited Tsuneo at the hospital to apologize, but he reassured her that the accident was not her fault. The following day, Tsuneo's professor, along with Mai and Hayato, came to visit him at the hospital. The professor delivered the disheartening news that Tsuneo had lost the scholarship due to the accident. This revelation crushed Tsuneo's spirits, as the accident not only jeopardized his plans to study abroad, but also dashed his dreams of continuing his passion for diving. The next day, Mai took Tsuneo for a walk and confessed her feelings for him. Tsuneo remained silent, offering no response. In the afternoon, Mai visited Jossa's house to divulge her own feelings. She admitted being in love with Tsuneo and expressed a desire for him to stay nearby rather than going abroad for further studies. Mai claimed to know Tsuneo better than Joss, listing various details about him. Joss, angered by Mai's confession, asserted that Tsuneo would never give up on his dreams. She emphasized that he would never forsake his passion for fish and abandon his aspirations. Despite not claiming to know Tsuneo better than Mai, Jossa declared that her feelings for him were stronger. Unbeknownst to Joss, Mai's strategy was aimed at prompting Joss to take action to assist Tsuneo. From that point forward, Jossi immersed herself in painting, busily working for days and occasionally engaging in discussions about books with Kana. During Tsuneo's rehabilitation, his left arm gradually recovered, but his leg continued to pose challenges. One day, Hayato accompanied Tsuneo to the library, where they encountered Josse, Kana, and a group of children gathered to listen to a story from Joss. The story was based on Tsuneo and Joss's story from the first time they met until Tsuneo got hurt. Tsuneo was so touched by the story that he cried after hearing it. After hearing this story, Tsuneo got motivated again and tried his best every day during rehab so that he can walk again. As Tsuneo continued his recovery, Joss, Mai, and Hayato regularly visited to check on his condition. Eventually, Tsuneo made significant progress and was able to walk again, albeit with the aid of a walking stick, leading to his discharge from the hospital. Expecting Jossa to pick him up, Tsuneo waited in vain. When he went to Jossa's house, he discovered it empty, with belongings packed into boxes. Concerned about Jossa's sudden disappearance, Tsuneo sought answers from Kana at the library, but even she was unaware of Jossa's whereabouts. In a joint effort, Tsuneo, Kana, Mai, and Hayato embarked on a search for Jossa. Late at night, while descending a steep road, Joss collided with someone. She found herself rapidly moving downhill, mirroring the scene of their initial encounter. In a moment of serendipity, Tsuneo appeared and rescued Josse, just as he did when they first met. In this critical moment, Tsuneo confessed his love for Joss, and to his delight, Josse reciprocated. They embraced and shared a kiss in the middle of the road, sealing their feelings for each other. The passage of time brought about significant changes for both Josse and Tsuneo. Tsuneo, having overcome his challenges, fulfilled his dream by traveling to Mexico to pursue his studies. Meanwhile, Josse likely commenced her journey as an artist. In the closing scene, Jossa was portrayed sitting on a bench in a park, engrossed in her painting. As fate would have it, Tsuneo, who had returned to Japan for spring break, coincidentally reunited with Joss. This marks the poignant conclusion of the story of Joss, the tiger, and the fish, a tale of resilience, love, and the pursuit of dreams.